Have you ever felt like your life was a sinking boat? Like the waves just kept coming, the problems, the fear, the silence from God? 2,000 years ago, 12 grown men, fishermen, tax collectors, a zealot, were absolutely terrified in the middle of a storm. And Jesus was asleep. It had been a long day. Jesus had been teaching enormous crowds by the Sea of Galilee, parable after parable, the sower, the seed, the lamp. And as evening fell, he said 4 words that must have felt like rest. Let us go across. They got in the boat. And Jesus, exhausted from ministry, fell asleep on a cushion in the stern. Ministry exhaustion is real today too. But the Sea of Galilee is infamous for sudden, violent storms. Surrounded by hills, wind can funnel down without warning, turning calm water into chaos in minutes. Mark 4 verse 37 says, "A great windstorm arose, and the waves were breaking into the boat, so that the boat was already filling." These weren't rookie sailors panicking over a little rain. Several of the disciples were professional fishermen. They knew this sea. And they were terrified. Everyone has a storm they didn't see coming. They wake Jesus up with a question that might sound like an accusation. "Teacher, do you not care that we are perishing?" Mark 4 verse 38. Have you ever prayed something like that? God, don't you care? Are you even awake right now? This is one of the most human moments in the entire gospel. And Jesus doesn't rebuke them for asking. He woke up. He rebuked the wind and said to the sea, and this is the verse that should stop you cold. "Peace. Be still." And the wind ceased, and there was a great calm. Not a gradual settling. Not a weather system passing. Immediate. Absolute. Supernatural silence. The creator of wind and wave spoke. And creation obeyed. Then Jesus turns to them. Not with comfort first, but with a question. Why are you so afraid? Have you still no faith? This is the heart of the passage. They had been with Jesus. They had watched him heal. They had heard him teach with authority. And yet, in the storm, they forgot who was in the boat. Friends, the same Jesus who calmed that sea is in your boat today. The question he asked them, he is asking you. Do you still have no faith? We, too, forget who is in the boat. And the disciples' response is stunning. Mark 4 verse 41. And they were filled with great fear and said to one another, "Who then is this, that even the wind and the sea obey him?" Notice, they were more afraid after the calm than during the storm. Because now they weren't afraid of the water. They were standing in the presence of someone they couldn't fully explain. The fear of God is greater than the fear of any storm. So what do we do with this? First, name your storm. What is filling your boat right now? Anxiety? Loss? A broken relationship? Financial pressure? Don't minimize it. Second, remember who is in your boat. You are not alone. The same Jesus who said, "Peace, be still," to the sea. He is Emmanuel. God with us. Third, bring your accusation to him. The disciples didn't pray a perfect prayer. They cried out in raw fear. That's okay. God can handle your honesty. Fourth, wait for the calm, but trust him in the storm. Sometimes he calms the storm. Sometimes he calms you. Either way, he is Lord. Mark 4 verses 35 to 41 is not primarily a story about a miracle. It is a question Jesus is still asking, across every century, every culture, every crisis. Who do you say that I am? If Jesus can silence a storm with 2 words, he can handle whatever is threatening to swallow you whole. Let him speak to your sea.